Hi students, in this video I am going to explain you about chemical properties of metals from the lesson Metals and Non-Metals. What is a chemical property? A chemical property is a characteristic of a particular substance that can be observed in a chemical reaction. So what is a chemical property, children? A chemical property is a characteristic of a particular substance that can be observed in a chemical reaction. For example, flammability, toxicity, chemical stability, and heat of combustion. So there are some chemical changes in our day-to-day life, children. For example, rusting of iron, burning of wood, metabolism, cooking an egg, baking a cake. All these are some of the chemical changes which we see in our day-to-day life. Now we shall see what are the chemical properties of metals. First property is metals react with oxygen. Yes children, metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxides. So what are metallic oxides? Metallic oxides are compounds made from a metal and oxygen. Metallic oxides are the compounds which are made from a metal and oxygen. For example, magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. And these metallic oxides are basic oxides, children. So these basic oxides, when they react with water, they form bases. So metallic oxides are basic oxides. Then what are basic oxides? So oxides of metals are called basic oxides. For example, magnesium oxide, sodium oxide, calcium oxide, copper oxide. All these are the examples for basic oxides. And these, when they react with water, they form bases. For example, when magnesium reacts with oxygen. For example, when magnesium reacts with oxygen, you get magnesium oxide. So, metals, when react with oxygen, you get metallic oxides. So, you have to check, children, whether the equation is balanced or no. So, you have magnesium, you have one atom. Here also you have one atom in the product side, and oxygen you have two here, you have one here. So add two, children. So you get 2 MgO, 2 atoms of magnesium. Here you have one, so add 2. So 2 Mg plus oxygen O2 and 2O. So what happens when metals react with oxygen? When metals react with oxygen, you get metallic oxides. And I told you these metallic oxides are called basic oxides. Why they are called basic oxides? Because these, when they react with water, they form hydroxides. For example, you can take the same magnesium oxide. When you dissolve in water, you get magnesium hydroxide, MgOH twice. Magnesium hydroxide, MgOH twice. So we'll see whether the equation is balanced or no, children. Mg, you have one atom. In the product side also you have one atom. Here you have oxygen, you have 2. 1 plus 1, 2. Here also you have 2. Hydrogen you have 2. Here also you have 2. The equation is balanced. Metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxides. You can take metal plus oxygen, you get metal oxide. Metal oxide. So metal oxides are basic in nature. Oxides react with water to form bases. For example, again you can take Na, sodium plus oxygen, you get sodium Na2O, sodium oxide. Sodium, when made to react with oxygen, you get sodium oxide. One more example you can take, children. Potassium, when made to react with oxygen, you get potassium oxide, K2O. You have to remember, children, sodium and potassium metals react vigorously with oxygen. Because of this, they are kept under kerosene oil to prevent their reaction with oxygen, moisture and carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. So sodium and potassium metals react vigorously with oxygen, children. That's the reason they are kept under kerosene oil, to prevent their reaction with oxygen, moisture and carbon dioxide. We shall take one more example, children. Metals react with oxygen. Iron, Fe, when made to react with oxygen, you get iron oxide, Fe2O3. Now iron, when made to react with oxygen, you get iron oxide. Now we'll see whether the equation is balanced or not. Here you have one atom of iron, here you have two atoms of iron. Okay, so add 2 here, children. Now how many atoms of oxygen you have? 2, but here you have 3. So to make it equal, add here 3, children. So oxygen is 3 2s are 6. Here you have only 3. So this side, to make it 6, add 2. Got it, children? So 2, when you add, oxygen is 6. Here oxygen is 6. But iron you have 2, but here you have 4. So you have to change this 2 to 4. 4 Fe. Here also you have 4 iron atoms. Oxygen you have 6 here. Here also 6. Equation is balanced. So when iron reacts with moist air, it forms rust, children. This is called rust. What is rust? Rust is a iron oxide. Articles made of iron such as grills, fencing, etc. get rusted because of reaction with moist air. Rust is reddish brown. This rust is reddish brown in color and is iron oxide. We call this as iron oxide. This iron oxide is basic in nature. How do you know this iron oxide is basic in nature? What is the property of basic compounds? They turn red litmus paper to blue. When you bring a red litmus paper and dip in this iron oxide solution, it turns red litmus paper to blue. So this indicates that iron oxide or the basic compounds are basic in nature. Now we shall see the second chemical property of metals, children. That is, what happens when metals reacts with water. Most of the metals reacts with water and form metallic hydroxides and release hydrogen gas, children. So for example, you can take sodium. Sodium is a metal when made to react with water. So what happens? You get sodium hydroxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So most of the metals react with water to form metallic hydroxides. OH group is nothing but it is a hydroxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas. We'll see whether the equation is balanced or not. Here you have one atom of sodium. Here also you have sodium. Here you have hydrogen 2, but here you have hydrogen 3, children. So to make it, here you have hydrogen 2. Here also you have hydrogen 2. Oxygen you have 1 here. You have 1 here. Got it, children? So sodium is 1 here. You have sodium here. Hydrogen you have 3 here. This side you have 3. But here you have only 2. So add 2 here. So you get 2 2s are 4 atoms of hydrogen. But here you have 3. So add 2 here. So you get 2H and H2. 4 atoms of hydrogen. Here also you have 4 atoms of hydrogen. We'll see the equation. Here sodium you have 1, but here you have 2. So add 2 here. So 2Na, 2Na. 4H, 2H plus H2, 4. 2O, 2O. The equation is balanced. We shall see one more metal reaction with water. Magnesium, Mg. When made to react with water, you get magnesium hydroxide, MgOH twice, with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So metals reacts with water to form the respective metal hydroxides with the liberation of hydrogen gas. The equation is balanced. Mg, H2. Here you have 2 atoms and 2 atoms, 4. So add 2 here, children. 4 atoms of hydrogen, 4 atoms of hydrogen, 2 atoms of oxygen, 2 atoms of oxygen. The equation is balanced. So metals like potassium and sodium react vigorously with cold water, children. Metals like potassium and sodium which are highly reactive. When you see the metallic series, children, you can see potassium and sodium are placed at the topmost, and they are highly reactive. Because they are highly reactive, they react vigorously with cold water. Sodium reacts with water and evolves hydrogen, which immediately catches fire, producing lot of heat. This we call it as exothermic reaction. Liberation or evolution of heat, we call it as exothermic. For example, you can take here potassium. When made to react with water, you get potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen with the liberation of heat energy. Understood, children? Potassium, when made to react with water, you get potassium hydroxide. We'll see whether the equation is balanced or no. One atom of potassium, here also one atom. Here you have hydrogen 2, but here you have 3. So add 2 here. To make it 3 here, you have to add 2, so that you will get equal number of atoms on both the sides. Hydrogen is 4 here. Here you have 3. So add 2 here. So you have 2K, here 2K. 2K, 2K, 4 atoms of hydrogen, 2H, H24, 2O, 2O. So the equation is balanced. Here, these metals like sodium and potassium, these two are highly reactive, and that's the reason these are vigorously with cold water. Now if you see the metallic series, children, those metals staying above hydrogen in electrochemical series react with cold water or steam water to produce hydrogen. When you see the metallic series, those metals which are above the hydrogen element in electrochemical series react with cold water and steam to produce hydrogen. Or metals below hydrogen like copper, silver, gold, platinum will not react with dilute acids or with the cold water. They cannot displace hydrogen from the non-metal ion. Actually, these are less reactive, and that's why they don't show any reaction with the cold water or with the acids. Metals like potassium, sodium, lithium and calcium react with dilute sulfuric acid and dilute HCl, forming the metal salts and hydrogen gas. Here, children, I want to give you a small sentence to remember the metallic series or reactive series elements, children. See here, statement: please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper saves gold. So if you remember this statement, children, you can remember all the elements found in the metallic series. So please, P stands for potassium, S stands for sodium, C stands for calcium, M stands for magnesium, A stands for aluminium, C stands for carbon, Z stands for zinc, I stands for iron, T stands for tin, L stands for lead, and H stands for hydrogen, C stands for copper, S silver, G gold. Okay, children. So you can see the elements, all the elements in the metallic series: potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, carbon, zinc, iron, tin, lead, hydrogen, copper, silver, gold. So if you want to remember this perfectly in your mind, learn this sentence, children, by heart. This: please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper saves gold. So if you remember this, the first capital letters you can convert them into the elements so that you can remember. So if you see the metallic series, children, the topmost, that is potassium, sodium, calcium, these are highly reactive, and that's the reason these show reaction vigorously with cold water. If you see the lower elements, that is the bottommost elements, if you see, like you can see the silver, copper, silver, gold, that is the elements which are below hydrogen, don't show much reaction. These are less reactive in nature. Now if you have seen, children, how metals reacts with water, metals reacts with water to form metallic hydroxides along with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Now what is the third chemical property of metals is metals reacts with acids, children. What happens when metals reacts with acids? Metals reacts with acids to form metallic salts and liberate hydrogen gas. So for example, you can take zinc. When zinc is a metal, when made to react with acid, what happens? You get metallic salt, zinc chloride, with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So metals react with the acids to form metallic salts. Here zinc reacts with hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride with the liberation of hydrogen gas. You can take one more example, children, that is aluminium. Well, aluminium is made to react with hydrochloric acid. You get aluminium chloride, AlCl3, with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So aluminium, when made to react with acid, you get aluminium chloride with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So here we have to balance the equation, children. Here you have aluminium 1, here also you have 1. Hydrogen you have 2, but here you have 2, but here you have 1. So to make it 2, add 2 here, children. So here 2H and H2. Your chlorine is 2, but you have 3 here. So to make it, here you have 3, here you have 2. So to make it 3 this side, you have to add here 6. If you add 6 atoms of chlorine here, you have only 3. So to make it 6, you can add here 2. So 2 atoms, if you add here, 2 3s are 6, 6 atoms of chlorine. But what about hydrogen? You have hydrogen 6 here, you have 2 here. So add 3 here, 3 2s are 6, here 6. Aluminum is 2 here, here it is 1, 2. Okay, children. So 2 aluminum, 2 Al, 6 atoms of hydrogen. Here 3 2s are 6 atoms of hydrogen, 6 atoms of chlorine, 6 atoms of chlorine. So when metals react with acids, you can see metallic salts with the liberation of hydrogen gas. We'll take one more example, children. Iron plus HCl, you get iron chloride, FeCl2, with the liberation of hydrogen gas. So check whether the equation is balanced. Iron you have 1 atom here, here also you have 1 atom. Hydrogen you have 1, here you have 2, add 2. Chlorine you have 2, here also 2. The equation is balanced. The reactivity varies from metal to metal for the above metals, children. So here zinc, aluminium, iron you have taken. So the reactivity of the metals varies from metal to metal. So you can write this like aluminium is more reactive than zinc. Zinc is more reactive than iron. So aluminum is more reactive than zinc. Zinc is more reactive than iron. In the same way, copper, silver and gold, if you see the metallic series, they do not react with acids. Hydrogen gas is not evolved when metals react with nitric acid because it is strong oxidizing agent. You have to remember, children, copper, silver, gold do not react with dilute acids. Hydrogen gas is not evolved when metals react, these metals, when they react with nitric acid, because it is a strong oxidizing agent. What is that strong oxidizing agent? Nitric acid. And it oxidizes the hydrogen produced to water and is itself reduced to oxidize nitrogen. For example, you can take, I told you, copper, then silver, Ag, then you can take gold, Au. So these are the metals which do not show any reaction. But if you make these to react, for example, copper if you take and make it to react with nitric acid, HNO3. What is the formula for nitric acid, children? HNO3. So actually I told you metals react with acids to form metallic salts along with the liberation of hydrogen gas. But here metal is reacting with the acid. But here nitric acid if you take metals like copper, you get copper nitrate with the formation of water, children. Water and nitrogen oxide is formed. So here, why? Because hydrogen gas is not evolved here, but nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent, children. Here nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent and it oxidizes the hydrogen. Actually, metals react with the acids to liberate hydrogen. Here, this nitric acid oxidizes it. It is a strong oxidizing agent, so it oxidizes the hydrogen and converts into water and reduces the oxides of nitrogen. And understood, children? So this is very important. You have to remember why when metals react with nitric acid, there is no liberation of hydrogen gas. You have to say because nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent and it oxidizes the hydrogen produced to water. It changes the hydrogen into water and reduces the oxides of nitrogen. And that's the reason why there is no formation of hydrogen when metals reacts with nitric acid. I said you metallic oxides or basic oxides, children. There are one more type of oxides called amphoteric oxides. What are these amphoteric oxides? Amphi means both. So metallic oxides are usually basic in nature, but some metallic oxides such as aluminium oxide like Al2O3, this is aluminium oxide, and zinc oxide ZnO. So aluminium oxide and zinc oxide react with acids as well as bases. They react with acids as well as bases to form salt and water. That's why they are called amphoteric oxides. You all understood, children? For example, you can take aluminium oxide Al2O3. It is considered to be amphoteric. It reacts with both acid as well as base to produce salt and water. Now if you take this aluminium oxide and make it to react with hydrochloric acid, you get a salt, aluminium chloride plus water. So aluminium oxide when made to react with acid, salt and water. At the same time, if you take this aluminium oxide, make it to react with the base NaOH. OH group is a base. You get a salt, that is sodium aluminate, NaAlO2. This is called sodium aluminate and water. Sodium aluminate along with water. So such compounds are called, or such oxides are called amphoteric oxides. We shall see the next property of metals, children. Metals are electropositive in nature. Metals are highly electropositive in nature. What is this electropositivity? The tendency of metals to lose electrons in order to get stability is called electropositive nature of metals, children. Metals have the tendency of losing electrons. So for example, you can take sodium, children. Sodium, Na, the atomic number of sodium is 11. When you write the electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 6, 3s1. Okay, children. So 1s2, 2s2, first shell has got 2 electrons, second shell has got 8 electrons, third shell has got 1 electron. So metals have the tendency of losing the electrons. So one valence electron is found in the outermost shell. So this one electron sodium loses in order to attain noble gas elements. So this is the neon electronic octant electronic configuration. Neon atomic number is 10. So metals loses one electron and become positively charged. It loses one electron and become positively charged. So this tendency of metals is called electropositivity. In general, most of the metals lose electrons from their valence shells due to weak force of attraction on the outermost shell. Why they lose the electrons? Because of the weak force of attraction on the outermost shell, children. So that's why metals have the tendency of losing the electrons very easily. We can take one more example, children. Calcium. Calcium atomic number is 20. It is a alkaline, earth alkaline metal, children. So if you write the electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s and 3d. S shell you have to write, children. Before going to D shell, you have to write S shell, because S shell is more active shell, you can say. So you have 2 electrons here. Second shell, 8 electrons. Third shell, you have 8 electrons. So you have 18. Here 3D, 2 electrons. So you have 2 electrons in the outermost shell. So this 2 electrons, calcium loses this 2 electron. It has the tendency of losing 2 electrons. So such metals are called electropositive metals, or the such nature of the metals is called electropositivity. We shall see the next chemical property of metals, children. Reactive metals. You can say reactive metals. Reactive metals displace less reactive metals. That means most or more reactive metals displace less reactive metals. This is also one of the chemical property of metals. So more reactive metals displace less reactive metals from their salts, children. From where? From the salts. From their salts. So this reaction we call it as displacement reaction, children. So in this displacement reaction, we see more reactive metal will displace a less reactive metal from a compound. For example, you can take magnesium plus copper sulfate. So here you can see magnesium when made to react with copper sulfate solution. What happens? Magnesium will displace copper out. So you get magnesium sulfate plus copper. So magnesium being more reactive, when you see the metallic series, magnesium is more reactive than copper. That's why it is more reactive, displacing less reactive metal, that is copper, out to form magnesium sulfate. We shall see one more example. Iron. Formula is Fe. When made to react with copper sulfate solution. If you take a test tube and take copper sulfate solution, children, which is blue in color, for that if you add an iron nail, what happens? Iron being more reactive than copper, it displaces copper out and you get iron sulfate, and copper is displaced out. You can do this by seeing an experiment. When you take copper sulfate solution in a test tube and add iron nail, what happens? When you add copper sulfate solution, it will be blue in color. When you add iron nail, immediately after 15 to 20 minutes, you can see the blue color solution turns out to be green in color because of iron sulfate, and you can see copper, it displaced out. On the iron nails, you can see displacement of copper or copper coating on the iron nails, which is reddish brown in color. So this reaction we call displacement reaction, and metals have this, that is more reactive metals displace less reactive metals from their compounds. If you see the electrochemical series, children, sodium, potassium are very electropositive and easily they get corroded. That is, potassium and sodium elements are highly reactive and very you can say highly electropositive in nature, or they have the tendency of losing the electrons very easily, and that's the reason they get corroded very easily. And if you see magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, tin, lead and copper, these are also electropositive in nature, where they lose the electrons very easily. The metals which lose the electrons very easily are easier to get. And you can see the less electropositive elements like mercury, silver, gold, these are less electropositive and do not erode easily. You understood, children? So these are the some of the chemical properties of metals. So the first chemical property is metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxide. Next chemical properties, when metals reacts with water, they form metallic hydroxides with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Third, metals reacts with acids to form metallic salts with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Fourth, metals are highly electropositive in nature, and that's the reason they have the tendency of losing electrons and become positively charged. And last chemical property of metals are metals react, that is more reactive elements displace less reactive metals from their salts. Okay children, in the next video we shall learn about chemical properties of non-metals. Thank you.